It's an absolutely beautiful day outside. I finished work, good spirits. It was Father's Day yesterday. World's best farter. I meant father. Ooh, just the kind of jokes that a dad likes. Today's going to be carbonara. Beautiful Italian classic, comes from Rome. Very simple to make, very quick, very easy. So if you're tired after work but you still don't want to order in, you want to cook and, you know, keep being healthy, brilliant food for just sort of like lazy cooking. It takes 5-10 minutes, that's about it. So we'll crack straight in. While we wait for the water to boil, drinking a lovely Peroni Libera, which means free in Italian. Peroni Libera. And that's because we're cooking Italian. It's always nice to get into the sort of theme of things, isn't it? I do believe that this one is going to impress the Italians a lot more than the ragu we did, because we did cook it out of a jar. We're going to make a ragu soon, again, properly, with proper sauce. Not sauce from a jar, but I need to big myself up for it first. Carbonara is one of the dishes that I have cooked before, so I'm not completely blind going into this. What can I tell you about carbonara? It's a Roman dish, usually made using very specific ingredients. We don't have those specific ingredients today. I've got one out of the two. The British tend to make carbonara. I don't know what happened. Sometimes, right? And I like languages, so I'm trying to learn Greek for my wife-to-be, delving into another culture and seeing all the sort of like weird little intricacies of the language. Our local corner shop guy used to be Sri Lankan, so they speak Tamil in Sri Lanka. So I was getting into some of that. It made me laugh. If your plane touches down in Sri Lanka and a woman comes and greets you, you might be in for a shock, because the way they say hello in Tamil is "wanna come." You guys are upfront about all this sort of thing. So I really like the aspect of learning languages, and sometimes when you're learning languages, you can see that there's been a bit of Chinese whispers going on. You know, they've come across and said something. Somebody said, yeah, oh yeah, definitely know what that means. A good example, the word in Greek for jacket, bouffan. Brilliant, that's fine. They've also got a word for sweater, like a cardigan. Zaketa. I wonder how that got misconstrued. To be fair, the Greeks have been around for absolute millennia. It's probably us who misconstrued it. The Greeks came over pointing things and saying, Zaketa, Zaketa, and we went, yeah, he probably means that thing he took off before he came in. So, you know, little intricacies like that, you can see where things have got misconstrued, but quite similarly. The Italians must have shown some retarded British guy how to make carbonara, and he went around telling everyone. I've seen it. I went to like some camping place in Sheffield, which is similar to Rome, because funnily enough, Sheffield and Rome both have 7 hills, very famous. However, this little pub in one of the hills in Sheffield where I was camping nearby, we walked to on a beautiful day, sat down, and there was a carbonara on there. Interesting, I'll get a carbonara. And it came with chicken and cream and fusilli. 0 of the ingredients that go into a carbonara. First of all, it's spaghetti alla carbonara. And unlike some of the pasta dishes where you can cook them with any, this one needs to be done with spaghetti. You can, of course, break the rules, who cares, you know. So, what's the other little important bit? Well, guanciale, which is the cheek of the pig. That's not always going to be available over here. I found it once in the UK and it was from a special Italian bistro and it cost an absolute fortune. And then I bought the cheese you use is Pecorino. Can't just use Cheddar. You shouldn't even use Parmigiano because it's Roman cheese Pecorino. Very similar, so you can substitute. You should use Pecorino. When I actually bought all the proper ingredients once, God, it must cost me about 30 quid for a carbonara. You're obviously not going to be able to get hold of guanciale. You can use bacon. However, there is an in-between. You don't have to go fully Italian, but you also don't have to go all the way British. You can use pancetta, which you can find in Tesco's, funnily enough. Boom! Smoked pancetta. Let's begin. I think I've droned on long enough now, so we'll get cracking. Boil your water. Salt your water. Spill it everywhere. Don't worry, we'll clean up later. I've no idea where I heard this from, but somebody once told me in Italy that to open a new pack of pasta, the men, like that, and with the heel. Boom. And if you're a woman, with the hip. Probably a load of rubbish. I am gullible. Spaghetti. I'm a hungry boy, so I'm using half a pack. Boom! Straight in yon pan. Mr. Carluccio tells me that you should use 10 grams of salt per litre of water. Whatever. Just chuck it in. Spaghetti's on the go. So what we doing? Oil. It's the only pancetta I could find. I'm having both packs. Stuff it. Absolutely up to you. 1 egg per person. Screw it. 2 eggs. Whisk your egg. Whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. Just like that Tom Cruise film. Whiskey business. Pecorino Romano. Boom. Cheese in there. Whisk it all together. Black pepper. The reason we don't put salt in the mixture of the egg and the cheese is because when you cook them with pancetta, or especially guanciale, the Romans sort of like cure it. Pancetta's cured as well, so it's quite naturally salty anyway. And most of the bacon that you buy in the shops is probably quite salty anyway, so you don't put salt in it. Pepper, eggs and cheese. That's it. Now, what's the secret to cooking spaghetti? Al dente, we're talking about. The way you cook spaghetti is, you constantly check it. It's not going to focus. It's an Italian dish, we need to cook it al dente. Simple as that. You want to be constantly checking the spaghetti. You can eat it as well. I've cleaned the kitchen, don't worry about it. You can't see it on the camera. You're looking for a little white dot in the middle of the spaghetti. It's not cooked all the way through. It's how the Italians eat it, al dente. Perfect. Drain the spaghetti. You see, when you cook it al dente, nothing's left in the bottom of the pan. I've seen English people cook spaghetti, it's all stuck to the bottom of the pan. If you cook it al dente, it works. Drain the spaghetti, turn the heat right down. Put that in there. Oh, look at that. That's probably a little bit too hot, to be honest, so we'll take it off the heat a little bit. We don't want it to cook any more than it is. Just with the heat from that, we add. Look at that. Get it moving straight away. Look at that. That is it. A little bit of pecorino, a little bit extra pepper. Nice cold Peroni, Libera in my case. You know it, come on, you must know it by now. I forgot the extractor fan. Oh, I've left the extractor fan the whole time off today. Kitchen towel. It's like nothing ever happened. Does mean you have to clean your kitchen twice as well. But if it's worth doing properly. However, it's not the proper way. The pan, when the pancetta was cooking, was too hot. I should have turned the heat off completely by the time it was ready and let it cool a little bit. Once you put the spaghetti in and mix it, you don't want to be hearing frying, it's too hot. When you put the egg and the cheese mixture in, it should stay creamy. It becomes a little bit like scrambled eggs. I prefer it, to be honest, because I don't really like cream or eggs too much. So for me, it's perfect, but if you want to cook it properly, make sure the heat's nice and, you know, come down a little bit before you add the eggs in so it doesn't cook it. Just want it to warm through. If you get it in a restaurant, they'll probably cook it like this because it's a bit, they don't like serving eggs undercooked. So, you know, but it looks good. I'll show you. And here we are, a beautiful spaghetti alla carbonara. Look at that. Pecorino, pancetta, spaghetti. Perfetto. My God. I have impressed even myself. As you can see where the egg is sort of cooked a little bit on the pasta. It's going to taste great. I really like it. I actually prefer it. But if you want to do it properly, make sure that the pan is a little bit cooler. Let it cool down a little bit first before you add in the cheese, and it won't happen. But I think this is delicious. More sage advice from me: if an Italian ever asks you round to dinner and cooks spaghetti, which is likely because, come on, what else are they going to cook? Bit racist. It's important to remember that you do not, under any circumstances, accept a spoon. They'll laugh at you behind your back. The proper way to eat spaghetti, I'm going to show you. Fork only. Take a little bit of the spaghetti, put it inside of the plate, spin it. Simple as that. Excuse me, signore, por favor, can I have un cucchiaio?